Hey everybody, welcome to BK's Daily Draw. I'm BK, and today we're going to be focusing on feet. It's not weird, right? Okay, anyway, I started off just like last time by going onto Google and picking out some reference pictures of different poses of feet that I thought looked good and looked interesting to draw, and just really started blocking the first one out. Now the construction lines I use for these are just basically circles and ovals and sometimes square shapes to point out the toes, but other than that it's just connecting those circles together and adding an ankle. Now after I got those construction lines down, I went ahead and started filling out the main lines of the foot, and the challenge here is keeping the picture close to the actual reference material and also retaining that cartoonish quality that I really like and that I want to implement in most of my pictures. So that was the main goal I had in mind for this first set of feet. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't really know what happened with the second foot. The first one went great, the toes looked fine, and the second one, something happened with the angle of the foot that confused me, and it just really made the toes kind of look a little pudgy and misshapen as opposed to the other ones. But I did my best to make it work and made it look as close to what a toe should look like as I could, fixed up the ankle a little bit, and then finally got to move on. The second pose I chose was 2 feet with one ankle popped up, kind of in a relaxed standing position, so I figured that that would be a good one to add to my repertoire and really get down. So I started out with the construction lines, which are just the circles again, and tried to map it out within the space that I gave myself, and I found pretty quickly that I didn't give myself enough space, so I had to rework it a couple of times. It looks messy, but it turns out alright in the end. So these ones I actually really like how they turned out. There's not a whole lot of complicated shapes because of the toes or anything like that. So they are a little bit plain looking, but I don't think they look so devoid of detail that they would look unfinished for someone else, but that might just be me. That being said, I was really happy with how the toes turned out on this one, and I was happy enough to just finish up where I was and move on to the final picture. Now this one actually had me the most worried of how it would end up looking. I wanted to get a nice picture of the feet walking away, and I ended up finding a good reference picture online. It turned out to be one of the easiest ones to block out with just really simple shapes, but ended up being one of the harder ones to actually implement since it's completely different from any of the other ones that I've done so far. If I had to choose one thing and say it was the most difficult, it would probably be getting the ankle correct, the angle of the ankle specifically, coming out of the foot. It took me a couple of tries to get right, but I finally did get it to a place where I was satisfied enough with it that I could move on to the right foot. And speaking of the right foot, this thing looked like a bridge troll until I really got the proportions down and figured out where everything should go. But before then, it kind of just looked like this weird, warped, lumpy thing that was just there next to the other foot. But after some careful finagling, I did get it to a point where I was satisfied and was ready to move on to shading. Now there's not a whole lot to say with the shading. I mostly just stuck pretty closely to the actual shadows in the pictures that I saw, and that really made everything pop the way I think it should have. The only thing I might have done differently looking back is putting each foot's shading on its own layer so that I can give each picture its own level of darkness instead of just having everything be at the same baseline. But that's a lesson for another day, because I put down the final shadows on this one and we're ready to show off the end product. So this was another one of those exercises that's not necessarily glamorous. I mean, it's still fun and I still really enjoyed myself, but it's nothing like drawing faces or drawing a new character or something like that. Now that being said, I don't want to downplay the importance of this. It is super important if you want to become a character designer or if you want to get into doing comics or something like that. Having a general idea of how to draw every part of the body is really important. And that's what I hope to accomplish today, and I think I took a couple of steps in the right direction. And with that, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. If you guys like what you just saw, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to this channel. We'll be doing new pictures every single day until February 2019, and it'd be awesome to have you guys along for the ride. If you have any suggestions of things you'd like to see me draw, you can leave those in the comments down below, or you can tweet at me at BK's Daily Draw on Twitter. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.